Thank you for coming out. I've only received one public comment form. Peggy, are there any more? Would you check?
No, we're good.
Okay, then we will proceed. Thank you. Lynn Collier, would you please come up and introduce yourself?
Thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Lynn Snyder Collier. My family has owned land in Bastrop County for over 55 years. Our land is off Walker Watson. I also want to thank James Toten for helping me try to figure out what's going on with our well. On Friday, May 26, I received a phone call from the man who runs cattle on our land. Neil Cody asked if he could use the well next to our rustic cabin because the shallow well on the north end of our property had run dry. Neil also indicated that another man that runs cattle in the area had reported the same thing. Next, I contacted the Lost Pines Groundwater Conservation District to help with the puzzle. It took about 10 days for the three of us to coordinate our schedules so that we could investigate. This is a very old, shallow well. On Tuesday, June 7th, Mr. Toten met with me at the well. Neil was a little late. Mr. Toten tested and indicated that there was water in the well at 25 feet. I located the breaker box and I tried to switch on the well and it would switch off again, so apparently it burned out. Neil came and told us a little backstory about the well. This particular well was only 2 to 3 years old and should not have run dry. In the past, back when Dr. Lawless owned the land around us, when he would irrigate, the water level would go down a little bit, but it'd never go dry. I even talked to somebody over 90 that ran cattle back there, and he said that well's never been dry. We don't know why the well went dry for long enough for the pump to burn out. However, there's quite a lot of new development in the area. The land that once belonged to Dr. Lawless now belongs to the boring company. They get water from Aqua Water, but they also have that same shallow well from Dr. Lawless's property. Additionally, I have learned from a tunneling expert that sometimes groundwater must be removed before tunneling projects to prevent a cave-in. I have no idea if this is the case, or if they have applied for a discharge permit, or if that's even required in this state. The boring company is purchasing additional land between Walker Watson and 1209. If you look at the Bastrop CAD map, they will be listed under the name Gapped Bass. They have already had several violations, including insufficient septic system, concrete batch plant violations, and illegal egress onto their compound from Farm Road 1209. When TCEQ came out to investigate the concrete batch plant, they said they'd never seen anything like this. So this is a different venture than we've ever seen here in Bastrop County before. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Collier. And we are familiar with the boring project. We hope to follow it. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
If there are no other comments, we will proceed to item number 3. Review and approval of the minutes of the May 18th, 2022 board meeting. Everyone has read it, I assume. Are there any corrections, additions?
I would suggest on item 2, public comments, the board heard comments from the public. I would like to include in these minutes any who commented and maybe the nature of their comments, and if those aren't available, I would certainly like that included in future minutes. Then on page 2, item 9, consideration of possible action of district-owned property. We did meet with Sheriff Parker about the sale of the Paint Creek property that we own. We also discussed with her a possible future purchase of land for our district for meeting place in offices. And I would like that included in item 9.
Okay, any other corrections? I believe there was a correction to meetings place. That's not in the minutes.
Do we have what comment?
Huh?
Do we have?
All right.
Do we know?
Any other
comment
corrections?
and What about?
From the board?
I don't know, I'd have to look at my notes.
I would entertain a motion to approve with the changes.
So moved.
We have a motion to move. Anyone would like to second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second from Mr. Cook. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Agenda item number 4, consideration of the financial report through May 31st, 2022. Mr. Cotton, you have any words to say?
Yes, ma'am. The financial report for the period ending at 5/31/2022, the district's operating fund balance stood at $265,437.67. The tax pool fund balance stood at $3,881,748.02, which gives us a grand total in terms of capital of $4,147,158.69. User fees collected to date through the end of 5/31 were approximately 45% of what we budgeted. So in just under half a year, we collected just under half of our projected revenue. Total expenses to date are tracking where we would expect them to be, with the exception of a couple postage supplies we overshot, mailings for the fast route permit. But everything else seems to be tracking where we expect it to be, well above the 50% mark in terms of expenditures. Overall, each of our separate line items, conglomerates of line items, are all in the 50 to 60% range. Again, with the exception of supplies, where we have the overshoot on mailing costs. But as of right now, everything's tracking where we expect it to be, with the exception of that one budget amendment for postage. At this point in time, I don't see that we'll need a budget amendment for anything, but we will keep track of that and report back to you again in the next quarter.
Thank you. Would anyone make motions to acknowledge the receipt of the financial report?
I make that motion.
Melissa Cole motion. Can we have a second?
I'll second it.
A second from Larry Shoddy to accept the financial report. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Cotton. Agenda item number 5, discussion, consideration of, and possible action on a resolution establishing a district procurement policy. First, before I say anything further, I want to mention that board members were given a memo from April Ribbon, attorney, about proposed policy changes in May. Governance committee discussed it in their governance committee June 1st, and it was sent to everybody again last week. So hopefully everybody's had plenty of time to review it and know if they have any questions. I understand that we are going to go into executive session. At my request, we are going in executive session of the board pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.071, or any closed session permitted by law, to consult with our attorneys and seek advice regarding agenda item, possible including agenda items 5, 6, and 7. And so this is a procurement policy and resolution, a proposed contract with Hatch Associates, and RFQ for hydrogeologists. So is there a place for the board to adjourn to?
I don't believe there is. I think this is our room.
Because
last time they showed us a room. There's a room back there? Oh, okay. I don't know if it's, I haven't.
Don't you have to turn on the lights?
Okay.
It says meeting. That's not the right.
This is meeting meeting room, it's a lot,
I'm just saying that the one I tried to get in was. Otherwise, we could put chairs out here in the hall.
I know.
We discussed items 5, 6, and 7, and now we will proceed with item number 5, discussion and consideration of and possible action on a resolution establishing a district procurement policy. Would anyone, Natasha, would you like to say a few words?
is this working? Oh, look at that. Okay. I can just briefly go over this. There are essentially 3 laws that would govern the district's procuring practices. They're housed in Chapter 36 of the Water Code, the Texas Government Code, which governs professional services, and Chapter 271 of the Texas Local Government Code. And that follows like formal bidding processes for services and goods over $50,000. So this procurement policy kind of marches through those applicable processes, and it also adds a spending policy. So in addition to procurement, staff and employees have certain thresholds that they're authorized to spend money on without coming to the board to approve those invoices or expenses. So I'm happy to answer any questions, but that's this 7-8 page document in a nutshell.
Board members, do you have any questions for Ms. Martin or any discussion?
Natasha, do you recommend that we adopt this?
Yes.
Thank you.
I have a question regarding mandatory RFQ. I know at the very end of page 7, there's some mandatory contracting practices. And there does state a maximum term of 5 years. But there's nothing in here regarding actually going through the RFQ process, I believe. So that would still be kind of just a best practice, like a recommended best practice, I assume. Is that correct right now?
So there, and thanks for pointing that out. This policy does include references to Texas Government Code, Chapter 2254, and our professional services policy invokes that chapter. So there are going to be certain services where you have to do an RFQ. And then there will be other times where, an RFQ might be the decision of the board, although it's not required.
Okay, so our professional services policy and the state law takes care of that.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Board members, other questions or comments? Would anyone care to make a motion? If not,
I would like to make a motion to adopt a resolution of establishing a district procurement policy.
I'll second.
we have a motion from Melissa Cole and a second from Ted Rogers to adopt, excuse me, the resolution establishing a district procurement policy. Any other discussion? All hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 6, presentation by Half Associates, Inc. regarding a groundwater data management system. Sir, you would come up and introduce yourself, please.
Good evening, my name is David Coyer. I'm the Director of Software Development for Half Associates, and I just want to thank you for giving me some time this evening to tell you a little bit about Half and our software development practice and the groundwater management system that we have developed. So HAF is a Texas-based professional services firm. We were founded in 1950. We have 27 offices. In fact, we have 2 in Austin. And we are a member of TAGGed. And specifically now talking about our software practice, we do software development, custom software development. And we also have a specialization in technology and GIS, among the other services that you see here that HAF as an engineering firm provides. A little bit about our software development team. We do have 14 full-time software engineers. We also have 4 Microsoft certified professionals out of those 14. And we really specialize in custom solutions for our clients. And kind of our niche market here is that we do an integration of database applications with GIS mapping software. We are a member of the Esri Partner Network, and Esri is really the world's largest provider of GIS applications and services. And we are also a licensed Esri application service provider. And HAF hosts our own services in our data center. And so a little bit about our hosting environment. We own our environment. We have 2 different environments. One is in Richardson, that is our main co-location site. And we have a failover site right now in Fort Worth. We are building another co-location site here in Austin, so we'll have 3 different sites for redundancy. We have 37 full-time IT network and support staff. And not only does the HAF data center support our clients, but it also supports HAF. So all of our business processes are running in this same data center. So we have a very vested interest in keeping that up and running. We have formal backup and recovery. We have redundant infrastructure so that if a internet line is cut, for example, we have redundant lines, things like that. And just wanted to point out that even though HAF is hosting the data itself belongs to the district. It is your data. You can request your data at any time from any of our applications that we host. We also have some monitoring and support. So we do have 24/7 site monitoring. So we're always pinging our sites and making sure everything is up and running. We have multiple incident reporting options. You can call, you can email. You can also see, you might be able to see here that in our applications we have a built-in section for you to contact us if something's going on or if you have a question. As part of the contract, we offer unlimited 10x5 support. So that's 10 hours a day, 5 days a week, unlimited support for whatever help that you may need. And we strive to have a 2-hour response time to any incident that you report. So a little bit about our groundwater management system. We've been developing groundwater management system software for 12 years. We have 20 districts that are currently using the HAF product. And over those years, what we've discovered is that districts vary in the way that they run their district. But we've noticed that about 80% of the data and the workflows between districts are pretty similar. So when we recognized that, we created the GMS product, Groundwater Management System product, to support that 80% commonality between districts. However, that remaining 20% is something that can be fully customized to support whatever additional data and whatever particular workflows each district may have. All of the GMS platforms have a common data schema and they run on a common platform. And so what this does is it helps the districts be able to share development costs. If 2, 3, 4 districts have a common requirement or a common need that they would like, they can get together, kind of sketch out what that need is. We would work with them. And then because we're on a common platform, that cost is distributed amongst the districts that are requesting that. So it lowers the cost of building these enhancements. And it also means that you can share your data because the Data is in a common format. It's easy for districts that are on the GMS platform to be able to share their data. So speaking of shared data, we were just contracted by GMA4. The districts in GMA4 wanted to be able to share their data and have a way that they can query, for example, well information and water level information amongst the districts. And they wanted the public to be able to access this as well. GMA 12 is now interested in something similar, being able to share data. They really want to expand on what GMA 4 is doing and offer much more the sharing of the data. So this kind of little sketch here is a proposed idea of how we can do that. And one of the things that's really important that we want to point out is that under this proposal, no one is getting into your data. You are choosing which pieces of data that you would like to push to a common repository, and that's where people will look at and query that data. So your application and your data is still secure. You choose which pieces of information you want to share, and it gets pushed to a common location. And some of the thoughts that you can have for this common sharing application, you can have a map that shows all the wells in the GMA, have basic well information that can show on there, water level information, obviously, water quality reporting, basic well information. You could have dashboards maybe that show by district, by aquifer, what the water level production is for that. And then really whatever other ideas that you come up with that would help you when you're in a needing to get information from maybe other districts. Now specifically, the proposal that we put together for Lost Pines, we're giving you the base package, and that's that 80% that I mentioned. And so you'll have the ability to track wells, permits, drillers, owners. You can track the water level production and water levels, water quality reporting. You'll have secure and public maps. So the district will have a map that has a lot more information than the public map, and the district can designate what kind of information do you want to show to the public on the public side of the map. And you have full access to every piece of data that's in the database via the ad hoc query and reporting tool. So anytime you need to get something out of there, you can write a query to pull it out, and then you can format it and put it in Excel or however else you would want to share that data. We also are going to import your existing data. That we've taken a look at that, and we feel like we can get that into our common data model that I was talking about earlier. It will be cloud hosted, so you don't have to have any hardware or anything on your side. All you need is an internet browser because it's in the cloud. You get that unlimited 10x5 support that I was talking about. And just as an aside, if you happen to be working on a Saturday and something's not working correctly, you have my cell phone number and we'll get it working. So the base price for the GMS package is $33,500. That is a one-time fee. That's the fee to get it up and running and get all of your data imported and be ready to go on day one. There is an annual hosting fee of $5,500. This is an every 12-month fee, and this covers things like licensing, the licenses that we have to provide you, the backup infrastructure that I talked about earlier, cloud hosting, and the support, the unlimited support, and things of that nature. So, we, as I said, we are hosting 20 districts right now, and can you next slide? We're hoping that you would give us the chance to make Lost Pines number 21. Thank you for your time, and anyone have any questions I can answer for you? Yes, ma'am.
What is a fallover?
Does it say fall over? It should have said fail over. I'm sorry.
I'm not done with the name.
Okay. Yeah, failover, so that if our Richardson site, that's our main site, if that for some reason goes down, then the Fort Worth site will automatically come online, and all your data will be available there, and you can start using that. That's usually available in about an hour. It takes about an hour for that full cutover to happen, but the data is being replicated constantly between the sites, and so you'll have your current data available in Fort Worth once it comes online.
If something goes wrong and you can't help them fix it remotely, would someone from your office in Austin be able to come out?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, yes. And, no, and that's pretty unlikely. We can usually solve most things remotely, but certainly if there's just no way we can do it, we would come out here and take care of that for you. I forgot to mention too, as part of that cost, that initial cost, there is 1 day of on-site training so that we can get you up to speed. And then as part of your support, we can remote in with you and keep going on the training if you forget, how to do something in the system. Yes, sir.
Is there a cost for importing our existing data?
There is.
How much is that?
That was $9,000, I believe.
So that's a one-time upfront charge?
Yes, sir.
That's included in the.
Yeah, that's included in the cost of the $33,500.
Oh, I see, okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Good, thank you.
Sorry. Yes.
Could you tell us about the security of the data? If anybody would try to hack it, how secure is it?
Yeah, so we, obviously, as I said, half is running its business off of this data center. So we take security very seriously. We have a security expert in the IT group. One of the 37 members is a certified security specialist. We also have intrusion detection systems that are constantly running and looking for any suspicious things that are going on. We keep all kinds of logs, and we have automated log filtering that can check and see. For example, if someone logs in from Austin and then 10 minutes later tries to log in from New England, we won't let them do that. That doesn't make sense that you can do that. And so we have these things in place to guard against that. Having said that, I do want to be upfront with you. We can't guarantee 100% that no one will ever hack the system. It's very much like your home. You can put all kinds of locks and stuff on the windows, but if someone wants to get in, they're probably going to get in. But the lessons that we have learned and seen in the industry is like your home. People are looking for easy targets. And so if you have all these things that they have to go through to try to get in, they're probably going to pass you up. Having said that, if something does happen, we do, as I said, we have these backups in place that we can go back. Worst case scenario, you would lose a day's worth of data that you've been inputting because we have last night's data that we can go back to and restore from that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, sir.
And you would be the point person for our district. If anything happens, it comes up on your cell phone if we contact you, is that correct?
Yes, well,
And then you would distribute that within your...
It depends on how you try to contact us, so you can certainly contact me directly. I would recommend that you use the built-in help system, or we have an email address. And the reason I would recommend that is that goes to every developer. And so if I happen to be doing one of these, a board presentation in the middle of the day, and you're having an issue, it may take a while for me to get back to you. But if you're using our built-in help system where you're reporting something, someone will get that notification right away, and we'll get back to you sooner. But I'd be happy to help you if I'm available.
Are you the point person for the other districts in GMA 12, the other 4 districts?
I have worked with them, yes. But as far as a point person, we have what we call team leaders, project managers maybe, and they're the ones that are more day-to-day involved. Mm-hmm. But certainly all those report to me. So at the end of the day, I'm the one responsible for everything.
I guess my point is if our district and another district have some sort of a problem meshing information or something,
yeah, I mean,
you're the guy?
Sure, sure. I would make sure it gets taken care of, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
May I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
There's 15 people in here that belongs to this district. Can we all get on to look at this, whatever indeed that we're trying to get, say?
You want to look at a demo of the product?
Can I get in there to view what is in the database?
Oh, I'm sorry. So you mean once it's up and running?
Yes.
Yes. You have unlimited users that can go in. We have different roles, different levels of access. So you can have full access to people that can go in and edit and change all the data. We also have what we call read-only access for people to go in and see the data, but not necessarily change anything. Absolutely.
And It comes up again on.
All right. Be right here. Yes,
Well, could any of the board members go to the training?
sure, absolutely. I love that.
Do we have to?
You do not have
It's mandatory.
to. You do not have to, no. Yes, sir.
Quick question. What is unlimited 10 by 5 for?
So that is 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, we have 10 hours. So it's usually like between 7 and 5,
Okay.
that someone's guaranteed to be able to get back to you.
Okay.
But, I'm monitoring those help desk things that are coming in all the time. So even if it's, like I said, on a weekend or late at night, if you're down and you need support, you'll get it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I have that question.
All right.
Can anybody from a different district change what we have put in the system?
Only if you let them in. If you give them a login, if you let them in with a login, then yes, they could. So this is why we're talking about this data sharing system, which would be outside of your data. You're pushing your data into a separate system. So, and that's going to be a read-only system. People can't change that. No one can change that data. So, yes, but you would have to let them do it. Does that answer your question?
That makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You will be presenting at the GMA 12
Yes.
soon. When are you?
Is that June 24th?
So this next week?
The next meeting,
This
yes.
next meeting, you're going to be presenting?
Yes, presenting this idea of the data sharing module.
Go ahead, Larry. Oh, the audience doesn't get to participate. This is a board discussion, I'm sorry. Anyone else have questions? Well, thank you very much, Mr. Collier.
Thank you for your time.
Okay. Agenda item number 7. Discussion, consideration of, and possible action on a proposal from Half Associates, Inc. to provide software services for a groundwater data management system as used by other groundwater conservation districts in GMA 12. Board members, you've seen the presentation. We also had a discussion earlier. Would anyone care to make a motion or would discuss this? How would you like to proceed?
Cheryl, I would like to make a motion just to get it on the table. And understanding that discussion that will precipitate some discussion on it.
Okay.
My motion is that we adopt the HAF proposal with the provision that, help me, Natasha.
Motion to approve the HAF proposal upon the condition directing legal counsel to review existing database obligations.
Yeah, that.
Okay. Okay, so we have a motion to accept the proposal from HAF with the condition that legal counsel will research already existing contract for database to see if it meets, since we should not go with it. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion, a second? Discussion. Questions? So, is everybody ready to vote?
What does management say?
Okay,
I would like to ask Natasha.
yes, go ahead.
Natasha, how much time would legal counsel require to do their job on this?
I could provide an update by Monday.
Next month?
Yes.
And how would the removal of that contingency operate?
So if you want to amend the motion, you could direct you could authorize the president to sign the agreement pending my review.
But wouldn't we have to meet again to?
I mean, if my review finds that there are no obligations and conflict, then you wouldn't need to meet again. If otherwise, then you may want to meet again.
Then we'd have to come back at another meeting if we found any
Well, I
problems.
just wondered, how it would be reflected in the minutes, as sort of a springing thing that happens upon completion
Right.
of your task.
So, I mean, you could conditional approval subject to legal not finding any conflicts for database management and authorizing President Smith to sign under those circumstances. And that would be the only circumstances whereby she could sign, otherwise we come back.
Okay.
Oh,
Question? Yes?
Oh, wait, I'm told that Monday is Juneteenth, which I should clearly know. And so Tuesday, and our firm is closed on Monday. So,
Okay,
yeah,
no problem. Soon enough.
thank you.
Board members, any questions? Any discussion? If not, we have a motion and a second on the table. We shall go ahead and vote. All in, okay. You will go, make this down. I have to write it down.
I'll send you the link.
Elvis Hernandez,
I vote aye, yes.
Tom Arsupi,
Yes.
Kay Rogers,
No,
Melissa Cole,
Yes.
I vote yes. Phil Cook,
Yes.
Larry Shawnee,
No.
Herb Cook,
Yes.
Billy Sherrill,
No.
Mike Samad.
No.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Motion passes. 6 for and 4 against. That's correct. I can check my math if you wish. Okay.
I'd like to bring up the potential budget amendment in order to pay for these services. So assuming Natasha does not find anything, I think we would need a budget amendment to, is that correct, Jim?
We
To
could
add
post for
those
that.
funds to the budget?
That'll have to be another meeting.
That would have to be in a separate meeting?
Right.
Okay.
So was the answer that we would do that at an upcoming meeting?
It would have to be done in an upcoming meeting is what I'm
Yes,
seeing.
we're not noticed to amend the budget tonight.
Okay, so we're not ready yet,
Correct.
because we don't have
Thank
the
you.
answer to Natasha's
Nope, no problem. Yeah.
investigation yet. Okay. Okay, item number 8, discussion, consideration of, and possible action on a request for qualifications to provide the district with geoscientific consulting services from a licensed professional geoscientist hydrogeologist. Natasha, Ms. Martin, would you again give us kind of an overview of the recommendation of our procurement policy?
Sure. So hydrogeology is subject to Texas Government Code Chapter 2254. That is one of the professional services whereby you're required to do an RFQ process for services. Our firm was tasked with reviewing district contracts, and upon our initial review, we discovered that there was some attention needed to be paid to this particular service, and so we recommended that the district go through the RFQ process. We also discovered that the existing contract was, I guess, more than 5 years out of date. The policy that was just adopted does recommend and require a revisiting of contracts every 5 years. So with that, we're recommending the RFQ process to the district.
And it's also true that our current contractor vendor can bid on the new RFQ.
Any qualified bidders, if the district board approves this RFQ, would be welcome.
Thank you. Anyone else have current comments, questions for Ms. Barton? If not, I would entertain a motion on agenda item number 8, possible action on a request for qualifications to provide the district with geoscientific consulting services from a licensed professional geoscientist.
I'd like to make a motion to engage in the request for qualifications for hydrogen.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Elvis Hernandez was the second. Approve for qualifications to provide the district with geoscientific services from a licensed professional geoscientist. All in favor?
Can we discuss it first?
Pardon?
Can we discuss it?
Oh, certainly. I thought we had to certainly talk again.
Don't we have one?
We have a very old contract, and what Ms. Martin is just addressing, you know that their recommendation is to, because it's been on the books for so many years, how many years, 12 years, that it's time for us to rebid. Our new policy that we passed also limits our contracts to 5 years going forward. This one by far exceeds it. But yes, there is one. But I don't recall, the termination clause, I think we're required to give 10 days notice is the only thing. I don't recall that there was like any end date, because usually when you do an RFQ, there is an end date, like 2 years from now, 5 years from now, something like that. I don't know, I'm not aware that this one has that. Ms. Martin, do you have anything else to say?
Yeah, that's accurate. There's not a term of services for this contract. So there is a way to terminate the contract, but there's not what you call an end date.
The term. Right. Most contracts do that these days, so.
Is there any reason to kick that sleeping dog?
What?
Is there any reason to kick that sleeping dog?
I'm not sure I could answer that.
It's state law.
Yes, it's state law. It doesn't measure up.
The reason to do this is to be in compliance with state law.
Natasha, is it true that if we did not do this, we would not be in compliance with state law?
So our review didn't show that a two-step process, which the RFQ or state law requires for an RFQ, was demonstrated. So we would recommend that you do this to basically start fresh with the RFQ and do the two-step process.
So, although, I'm sorry I'm not as subtle as you, but do we need to do this to be in compliance with state law?
With current state law, yes,
Thank you.
based on the documents we've received.
Yes.
Other questions? Discussion?
Natasha, you're not saying we're out of compliance, you're just saying, based on what you've seen.
Yes, that's right. We've been provided with records. There may be more records out there, but with what we've seen, that this step would be consistent with current state law.
Has the law changed since 2011 on this?
It goes back to
It goes,
1995.
that's right, yeah.
Anyone else? Okay, everybody to vote then? Motion and a second is on the floor to approve a request for qualifications going forward to provide the district with geoscientific consulting services from a licensed professional geoscientist. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Agenda item number 9, discussion, consideration of, and possible action on adding an additional designated meeting location in the district at the Bluebonnet Electric Cooperative in Bastrop, Texas. Elvis?
Yes, the Bluebonnet has some very nice facilities in their headquarters. They're just north of Bastrop on Highway 21 on Electric Avenue. They just started to allow the public to use their boardroom. So I was hoping that they were all set up for hybrid Zoom calls, but unfortunately they're not. So it's a nice facility, but it really is no better than this facility here or Giddings, because they're not. I was hoping they were set up for video and Zoom, but they're not. But it's a nice alternative if we ever need it. It's a nice facility, and that's about it. There is like a little contract that was reviewed by Natasha and April, just to sign to like a waiver, and it's a 1-year term. It has a term limit of 1 year to use this facility.
Okay, and I asked you earlier if there's any difference in internet service for hybrid meetings at this location, Giddings Library or Bluebonnet. I'm just curious, are any of them better than the others for hybrid meetings?
My test at the comparing Giddings to Bluebonnet was that the Giddings Library had a better internet connection. I have not checked this facility.
Yeah, because we had the meeting that failed in Giddings, but that was not a problem with the library's internet connection. It was like the entire internet went down.
I called them twice. Upon Jim's recommendation, I called them again, and I spoke with a woman. I pushed on her, asking her, "Are you sure that there's internet in the evenings?" She went, spoke to someone else, put me on hold, came back and said, "No, that's been taken care of. It should be up all the time." So but you need to test it, right? The proof is in the pudding. But I've called twice. They said they should have 24-hour internet around the clock.
So regardless of this particular agenda item, do we still need to buy equipment since all 3 locations don't have what we need?
Yeah, in order to do Zoom hybrid calls, yes.
Okay. Do we know how much money we're talking about?
I was waiting for Elvis to get back to me on fixing boards. We traded some emails, we never settled on a model, but probably 5,000 to 7,000 all in.
Yes, a few thousand, several thousand.
Wow, didn't have an idea. But after that, we're pretty good to go for hybrid meetings. People are sick, and they still want to participate, so we can get a quorum. Or people are on vacation, they can participate remotely. That's my goal. Okay. Well, any other questions about the Bluebonnet? In the past, we have alternated between Bastrop and Giddings. This is Bastrop. Bluebonnet would be Bastrop, and Giddings is Elgin. Board members, do you have any thoughts on that? I'm totally open. I think, speaking for myself, this is the closest to my house.
Well, if we take action on it, could we put the address of it, because there are 2 Bluebonnet Electric Cooperative locations in Bastrop, Texas. One's on Highway 71 and one's on Highway 20.
Oh, the resolution does have the address, but not the agenda posted.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's the Highway 71. Or Highway 21. Yeah, that's right.
It should be 21. Electric Avenue is the road it's on.
$7,000 and whatever. Is that something that
She
we
doesn't
would
need to sign
move
tonight. Okay.
from meeting to meeting?
Yeah, unfortunately, yes. Yeah, it has to be portable, so that we can move it from place to
How
place.
much do you want?
And, yes, try to make it portable. I mean, ideally, the real way of doing these hybrid calls is if you had one place that you always had the meetings and you had the cameras on the wall and everything was already hooked up. So it is a bit of a burden for Mr. Totten to come and set everything up. It takes, you know, an hour to test everything and set it up. So it's a bit of a burden to do that, for sure.
Yeah, and another conversation that the infrastructure committee will have at some point, now that we have our procurement policy in place, is the purchase of a vehicle that perhaps has a camera on the back, that they can take it out to the field to do, you know, well levels, and then transport, you know, this equipment in the back where it would be secure. But that's for the infrastructure committee to just determine. But right now, we'll just discuss it. We're just voting on whether to add this.
And this is just to add the site. It's not, we're not moving any meetings there right now. I have not secured that any dates or anything. It's just to allow us, if we need it, it will be available.
I'll make a motion that we add Groundwater Electric to our list of possible meeting sites for the GCD board.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the Groundwater Electric Co-op in Bastrop, Texas on Highway 21 for designated meeting place. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Who was the second?
Motion carries. Thank you.
Oh, and
Madam
this
President,
facility has a granite statue up front with Mr. Semang's name engraved in granite. Did you know that? So if you ever go by there, go by the front doors. I just happened to be there when I was visiting, and I stumbled upon your name etched in granite there.
That's what you get for 43 years of service.
Congratulations.
Wow, that's a long time.
Good for you.
Ms. Margaret, did you have something to say?
Oh, just point of clarification, who seconded that motion? Okay. Oh, wait, we've got, see, there we go.
Mike?
Well, let's say it was Mike.
It was Mike.
Yeah, okay. It-
Okay.
Given
Thank
his
you.
years of service, it's appropriate, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Item number 10, committee reports. This is, of course, just reports, no action.
Are we not doing that?
Education Outreach Committee?
Are we?
President Cheryl,
Yes.
I'm sorry, President Smith, the degree controller agenda item, are you looking on the old agenda or the new one?
Oh, yeah, the new
Oh, I'm
one.
looking at the old agenda. Thank you, thank you. Let me pull out the correct one. Thank you, Mr. Totten. Item number 10, consideration of and possible action on report by and contract with Negrit Kolar Architects regarding architectural and related services in connection with the district office building project. Mr. Cook, I think the infrastructure committee has met. Would you like to say, have a word?
Yes, thank you. The infrastructure committee met yesterday, and we unanimously voted to recommend that the district terminate our contract with Negrit Kolar.
Other infrastructure committee members, okay, or anyone else that was at that meeting, have any comments? That was unanimous?
Certainly was.
Any other comment or discussions? Are you ready to vote?
I'd like to make a motion that we terminate that contract.
I'll second.
So we have a motion and a second to terminate any further work with the Great Golar Architects and related services in connection with the district office building project. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Now to the committee reports. Education outreach.
Apologies, I've got very little to report. I've been without a computer for a couple of weeks and I'm recovering from that lack of access. However, Javier did get a newsletter out as part of the Education Committee's products. Thank you, Javier.
Do you anticipate an outreach committee meeting in the near future?
Yes.
Okay. Great. Next is Financial Services Committee. Elvis?
There's nothing new to report on the Financial Services Committee. We're just waiting on Natasha's interlocal agreement with the Post Oak Sudan. But other than that, there's nothing.
And still nothing on that, Natasha?
Not as far as an agreement. I'm trying to set up a meeting with, to discuss an interlocal monitoring plan.
Okay.
So that would be with the GMs and hydrogeologists. Their hydrogeologist is out.
Okay. So that's in the works
Yeah.
to be done. Okay, very good, thank you. I know that we are somewhat anxious to get back to consider whether we are going to reinstate our mitigation program. Although I understand that most of the people whose wells dropped have been taken care of. I don't know how many have and still have not. Okay, Governance Committee, that's me. The Governance Committee met on June 1st. Some of the items we discussed, we talked about requesting from Bastrop and Lee counties right-of-way access, for potential well monitoring wells to be installed. And these are installed in county right-of-ways beneath the ground so they can still flow, do all their work without any impact. Judge Fisher has it on the agenda in Lee County for, I believe, the 27th of June. And Elvis, what about Bastrop? Do we know?
I am rescheduling it for July 11th.
Okay, so July 11th for Bastrop County, and we do have attorneys that will be attending those meetings with us as well.
Yeah, Kay and I met with Commissioner Clara Beckett last week and provided her with the agreement.
Right.
And then she forwarded on to Judge Poppy and the rest of the commissioners and their legal.
Yeah, and I forwarded our monitoring well agreement and Natasha's right-of-way agreement to Judge Fisher, and he took it to the Commissioner's Court. Okay. The committee also discussed the RFQ for hydrogeologists, the HAF database. We talked about the website update. I understand that was going to be available as of June 13th. Does anybody know if it's in the works?
Yeah, this week marks our 4-year anniversary with the website host vendor. That allows us now to begin the process of a quote free redesign. So we are just waiting to contact and have a kickoff meeting. We had to wait till this week.
Who will be at that meeting besides you, Jim?
Mr. Totten and
Mr.
Mr.
Arsufi?
Arsufi.
Okay, very good. This is another contract that we will probably have to do an RFP for, and after talking to April, it seems like by the time we start working on it until the time we get the service is almost 6 months. And so that means we need to start, what, December?
November.
Just so that people are aware. Okay, we also discussed the Page property in our meeting, and that's it for the Governance Committee. Next is Infrastructure Committee.
The Infrastructure Committee met by Zoom yesterday. Natasha was in our meeting and giving us an update, a report on the Degree Color contract for our land on Paint Creek. There were some questions and considerable discussion about the payments when they were made, the timeline the payments were made, discussion of some task items, especially task items 9, 11, and 12 that were either not complete or partially complete. We did unanimously recommend not to terminate the contract with Negrete and Kohler because there's a stopping point after task item 12. As Elvis just mentioned, he also gave us an update on the software update that the district can begin modifying and improving that website. He proceeds on the incremental changes in that, not anything radical. Elvis also gave us a software update, and that pertained to the HALF contract that we've discussed in the past tonight, and the pros and cons of that, and the D.V. Stevens contract that we presently have. And that's pretty much what happened at that committee.
Ms. Martin, I have a question. Can we close out the contract even though there's still open items, some that have been paid and we may need refunds on, or some that maybe we still owe? I'm just trying to figure out, can we terminate? I mean, I'm for terminating. We already voted on that. I'm just wondering, how we can, if that's okay.
Based on our review, that is fine. I mean, we can still
Pursue
do our
that.
efforts on those task items.
Okay.
without
Just
any-
want to make sure. Thank you. Okay, Management Committee?
The management committee met on June 9th. Natasha had sent the committee the draft rule changes, and she joined us in the meeting and guided us through the proposed rule changes and entertained our questions and comments. The definition of waste was discussed with the desire from committee members to expand what is included in the definition with concise rules on such things as transporting distance outside of a pipe and vanity ponds as well as others. In order to justify the intricacies of such a rule, we think there will need to be further findings provided by research paper studies on evaporation. Natasha's going to refine the rule changes and bring the final draft to the board, and Jim will look for studies on evaporation. We discussed production caps, and we looked at production caps being used by the Coastal Bend Groundwater Conservation District, which was one of the districts suggested to us by Greg Ellis to look at. This district focuses on historical use. Next month, we're going to investigate the caps used by the Brazos Valley Groundwater Conservation District. Our goal is to study options currently being used by several GCDs to aid in forming our own policy on production caps. We discussed management plan review, discussion of our goal to review the management plan on an annual basis to ensure that we have met or acted on our goals, to make revisions as needed. Jim stated that this has currently been worked on and will be reported annually. We discussed an update on the GMZ for Northern Dade County. Cheryl reported that she's got 12 to 13 people who've expressed a desire to be part of the stakeholder group for the zone, and Carrie Thompson has agreed to be the facilitator for that group. That's it.
Thank you all. Very good reports. We're doing lots of good work. Item number 11, General Manager's Report. Mr. Cotton?
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. General Manager's report for the period of May 1st to May 31st, 2022. During this period, we had 12 new wells that were drilled within the district. The information regarding those wells is provided on the back of the General Manager's report. And in following up the request from Director Rogers, there's also a map showing the general location of those 12 new wells. During this period, we conducted 3 water quality tests, engaged approximately 10 wells. We're having to shift the water quality testing to the Texas A&M lab. They're having staffing problems at the Aqua Lab in Bastrop. It has put them somewhere between a month, in some cases almost 6 weeks behind on some of the samples we dropped there. So we're keeping up with the water quality testing, but we're having to shift it to different labs for the time being. According to drought.gov, approximately 90% of Lee County and 85% of Bastrop County are experiencing moderate drought. The remainder of each county is experiencing abnormally dry conditions at this point. There's a standard placeholder for GMA 12 updates. We don't currently have a GMA 12 update. GMA 12 hasn't met since the last board meeting, but I left the information from the last report on here. As a general notice, I have been invited to participate in a panel on the TAG summer session. It's going to be a panel focusing on navigating through the contested case process. Sadly, apparently I have more experience with contested cases than any other GM in the state. So they asked me to sit in. Other members will be Bill Hutchinson, who, as you remember, represented the district in the LCRA hearing, Stacy Reese, who has done some work with Recharge in our district and now represents a variety of water interests in the state. And then Glenn Stanbury, who is associated with the Barton Springs and Aquifer Authority. And it'll be moderated by Mike Gershon, who is the attorney for Aqua Supply Corporation. So I think it'll be an interesting panel. It'll be an interesting discussion. I believe it's on September 1st, the last day of that conference. Additionally, we have begun the process of trying to isolate new monitoring wells in South Bastrop County. You've heard previously there are a couple of projects coming on in counties to our south. They're likely to have impacts in our district, similar to what we saw with Vista Ridge. We're in the process right now. We're taking a three-pronged approach. We are beginning by putting out some flyers and leaflets in coordination with the other districts around us in Delhi, Cistern, and Rockney, which are basically the three crossroads / centers of civilization in the impacted area. We talked with Fayette County and Gonzales County to make sure that they were okay with us recruiting monitoring wells in that area and offered to share anybody that's in their districts that would come forward. The second prong, we're going to be sending out mailers to the drillers that work that area, providing them with information about projected impacts in the area so they can help better set pumps if they are drilling for either wells in that southern Bastrop County location. It'll also give them the information to talk to clients that they know may have wells that are impacted. And the third prong is we're also going through the state database and the district database, looking for directly for wells that are likely to be impacted and are likely to provide good, non-redundant data regarding the impacts of these projects come online. So we can start getting those baseline readings before these projects start. So Javier put some miles on start today in the first round, put some flyers out, and like I say, we'll be working on the mailings through the rest of the month, and hopefully we'll be able to start getting out in July and collecting some of that data. With regard to pending permits, Manville Water Supply Corporation has filed an application for a no increase amendment to their existing blue well field. They drilled a test well up there, we knew this was coming in, and they're just looking to add instantaneous capacity to that well field without actually producing any more water on an annual basis. So this will be very similar to the application we had from Aqua Water Supply a couple months ago. I anticipate we should have this ready to go for the July board meeting, but if not July, it'll be August. So that is coming. With regard to upcoming meetings, GMA 12 is meeting June 24th, Post Oak Savannah offices. That meeting will also be available online. And additionally, Region K is meeting July 27th at the LCRA Center in Austin. So plenty of advance warning for that one. And with that, I'd be happy to address any questions you may have.
On the new wells, is the driller, do they provide any well logs or anything?
They provide well logs after the wells are completed, yes, sir. So the wells that come in on this list are the wells where the initial application for drilling has come in.
Right.
But they have not necessarily begun drilling or anything like that. Some of these never actually get drilled, but the vast majority will be drilled within 60 to 90 days.
One of them has been drilled.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Mr. Tom. Next agenda item, number 12, discussion of Lost Pines Groundwater Conservation District legislation relating to legislation or activities occurring that affect or pertain to the district of groundwater. Mr. Greg Ellis is not with us this evening, so there's nothing to report on that item. Agenda item number 13. Well, 14. I'm giving you the wrong numbers. I'm looking at the wrong one. I'm sorry. Okay, we are to item number 14. Consideration of conferences, meetings, and educational opportunities board members desire to attend. Mr. Thompson just told us about September 1 at TAG. Are there others? Mr. Thompson, do you know of any?
Aside from the standard summer session, no ma'am.
Okay.
That is a 3-day event. I'll just be there for the one day I'm presenting.
Okay. Number 15, consider future agenda items, calendar, and events. Right now, we are opposed to have our meeting in July at the Giddings Library. Does anyone have anything specific on the agenda that you know of today? If not, the governance committee will meet early in July to put together an agenda. If something comes to mind, please let us know as soon as you can, so it does get included. Agenda item number 16, I have two announcements. One, we understood that there was some confusion over board members or the board endorsing candidates, and legal counsel has informed us that we as a board, or as a board member representing the Groundwater District, do not and cannot endorse candidates. Is that correct, Ms.?
Yes.
Yes. So I just wanted to make that public. The other announcement I have is that our legal counsel, Natasha Martin, received an honor last month, and I would like Ms. Martin to tell me, because I don't have the notes from last month. Could you tell us the awards you won, please?
I've slept since then, too. Travis County Women Lawyers Association is a pretty large group, about 1,500 women. And every year they designate litigator of the year or government attorney of the year, pro bono attorney of the year. So there's a slate of 12 different lawyers, and I was one of 12, and I was appointed for litigator of the year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I was so embarrassed because my entire family on both sides showed up at this luncheon. It was the first time we'd all been together in 2.5 years, so that was nice.
Yeah. That's wonderful. Well, thank you. We appreciate your service to us as well. Good job.
Thank you for letting me serve.
Okay. We now go to item number 16, which is another executive session. Executive session of the board pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.071, or any closed session permitted by law to consult with our attorneys and seek advice regarding the Gatehouse Water LLC versus Fox Conservation District et al. Clause number 122-CB-00132, United States District Court of the Western District of Texas. We now adjourn at 9:21 into executive session.
Cheryl, there will be no further business.
Now, there will not be any further business. If those of you that we won't have any action or anything to report, so I wouldn't blame you for that. Otherwise, we'll be back out whenever we're back out. Thank you all for coming.
Will you remind them to sign their bonds, please?
Before everybody leaves, please, tonight, we all sign the bonds and have them ready, so that way we can get that next Peggy.
What?
I've got no reason whatsoever to have that.
Why do you have, oh, from last time?
Yeah.
Okay,
And here I'm giving you this stuff back.
okay,
I don't want it.
okay.
And here is,
Your expense sheets?
yeah, the original and a copy.
Okay. What about your bond? Did you sign it?
I need to talk to my lawyer about that.
Okay, did you need to see me still after the meeting?
No, I just wanted to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Right on
Where's
that.
Elvis?
Yes, sir.
He done ran off. Sign those too. Are y'all gonna be forever?
Go ahead, take off all you have to.
Well, I gotta get stuff signed.
Oh. What else do you need signed?